Welcome to Website Design Made Simple, the podcast for busy small business owners who want a high-performing website that converts and sells their offers, even while they're sleeping. Because you deserve to have a strategic and beautiful website that truly represents your brand and positions you as the expert that you are. I'm your host, Jenny B., web designer and creative director at Jenny B Designs, where we believe that your website is the one thing that makes you sales and builds your brand at the same time. Ready to say goodbye to a website that you're embarrassed to share? And hello to a money-making, personality-packed powerhouse? Let's head into today's episode. Welcome to Creatively Optimized, the podcast for service businesses ready to shine online. I'm Jenny Belanger, the founder of Jenny B Designs, a web design studio that builds strategic and beautiful websites that are designed to book you ideal clients and make you money. With over 10 years of growing my own design business, I'm here to share tips to creatively optimize your business. Get ready to learn web design strategies for high-converting websites, digital marketing tactics to reach ideal customers, and systems to simplify operations. If you're ready to blend creativity and strategy, you're in the right place. Join me on this journey to creatively optimize your unique business. Let's do this. Today, we're going to talk about the question, how to know if you're ready for a new website. Today's episode is a replay of one that I shared earlier this year, and I figured summer is just a great time to share those important episodes that really were kind of ones that I got a lot of feedback on and really made a difference for my listeners as they were thinking about their website and if they need a new website and how to tell. So today's episode is going to share the signs that will help you determine if you are, in fact, ready for a new website. Enjoy the episode, and I will be back next week with my final replay of the summer. Do you ever feel like your website just isn't quite working for your business like you hoped? Maybe it's not generating leads or reflecting your brand anymore, or just starting to feel a little bit stale. Well, today I want to talk about the 6 signs that it may be time for a website refresh or rebuild. Hey friend, welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm Jenny, if we haven't already met, and I've designed websites for over 100 small businesses over my career, and I've seen plenty of signs when websites have run their course and need an upgrade, be it that fresh coat of paint with a little refresh or a full custom rebuild. My goal today is making sure you can spot those indicators so that you know when it may be time for you to invest in your online home again. So let's get right into it. Sign number 1, your website isn't making you money. You probably heard me say this so many times if you've met me or chatted with me one-to-one, but I truly believe that if your website is not making money, it's not working for you. Your website should serve your business goals, be it if it's to book a consultation with you or to sell your product or your course and have online sales made. And if it's not actively driving opportunities and revenue, that's a definite need for a review. Now let's talk about not making money, what that means. It can mean a few different things. First, it can mean that you might not have clear calls to action, or they're not clearly optimized throughout your site. Visitors come to your website. Perhaps you have a lot of visitors coming if you're checking your Google Analytics, but they don't actually convert. Or maybe it's that the overall user flow isn't guiding people logically towards their next step in the sales journey, be it that purchase or that consultation call. These are 2 types of problems that you'll see if you're not making money. But I will say sometimes the biggest reason that you're not making money with your website is just the fact that you have an outdated design that doesn't convey enough value and credibility these days. 94% of consumers say that their first impression of a brand is based on its website design, and you need to make that design count. When someone comes to your website and it looks outdated and you can tell that it was built a long time ago, the visitor gets the impression that you don't value your business. They start to wonder if you are investing in your current business at the moment, or are you active And how you reflect yourself online truly does matter. First impressions count. And understanding that having a website that is refreshed and does reflect your business and brand at this time and has a beautiful design that is working for you can really work magic. That is a sign that your website isn't making you money, that people are coming there and they're not converting. And by that, I mean they're not taking that first step in your sales process, booking that consult call, or buying your products. And that's when you know your website is outdated and it's probably time for a website refresh. Sign number two, it's not mobile friendly or user friendly. And by that, I mean when someone visits your website on a device, be it on their phone or a tablet, it's not user friendly and they can't navigate it properly. This means that it might have clunky navigation menus. It might not work as well on a mobile phone as it does on the desktop. Sometimes when you get into the drop downs, it looks a little bit different on the phone. And if it's not optimized properly, people aren't even able to navigate your website. Sometimes the text is too small to read or the performance lags. A lot of times I will see a website that is built to look great on desktop and it might have a lot of images on it. And then when it comes to the mobile side, it hasn't really been optimized. And by that, I mean, I like to reduce the amount of imagery when someone is looking at a website on their phone. They just don't need as much. Yes, they need some to really understand and feel that emotional connection with your brand, but they don't need image after image when they're scrolling through their phone. Typically, when someone visits your website from a phone, they want to learn what they want to learn quickly and take action, and they don't want to be distracted by all the things. So I like to ensure that websites that I build are mobile friendly and understand what someone is thinking when they visit your website on their phone. And considering over 60% of website traffic, probably even more these days, comes from the mobile devices, it's so important. I don't know if you're like me, but when I'm waiting for my kids at school pickup, I'm always trying to squeeze in a little work, and using my phone is what I visit websites on. And if you're not catering to these users, you're losing visitors and sales. You need to understand what the key elements for accessibility are for your mobile visitors, and that you can connect with them wherever they are and whenever they decide to visit your website during their busy day. That's why having a mobile friendly design is so important these days. So visit your website from your mobile phone, check it out, and see how that journey feels and how your visitors will feel when they access your website through the phone. And if it's not where it should be, then that's probably a sign that it's time for a website upgrade. Sign number three is that your website doesn't match your brand or your social media feed. And this part is so important and something that I'm finding is happening more and more these days. If your website design and content no longer reflects your brand identity, then it's time. And let's talk about what I mean by brand identity. That means your logo, your colors, the colors that you use in your branding, and your typography, the fonts that you use. If your website looks like your brand did 3 years ago, but in between that time, you have changed your colors, you've changed the fonts that you use, maybe even you've shifted your logo a little bit, then it's time to take some action on your website. A lot of times I see business owners, they either created their own brand when they started or had someone create it for them. And over time, they have been promoting themselves on social media. A lot of us use social media a lot. Maybe we've even hired this out. We've had a social media person come and help with this. And during the time when we created our brand to when we started promoting ourselves online with social media, our branding has shifted. So perhaps we used some templates or we had someone helping us and we shifted the fonts that we use. We decided we like something a little bit better. And that kind of became our look and feel. And the colors, same thing goes there. Maybe your colors have shifted a little from when you designed your website to what you're using now. And when you look at your social media feed, does your social media feed match the branding on your website? This is a lot of times where I see a lot of incongruency that you spent so much time and effort cultivating this beautiful social media feed, and your brand has kind of been updated there, but it hasn't been reflected to your website. This actually, I see, happens a lot with not just your branding, but your messaging and content. For some reason, I find that a lot of entrepreneurs are updating their website last in the equation, and they're investing all this time and effort into social media. So when someone visits your social media feed, they get a whole different feeling and connection to your brand versus when they visit your website. And what's important to remember is that the goal of social media is to drive people to your website. Your website is a thing that does that heavy lifting for you. It makes the sale happen. And like I talked about before, it makes you money. It does the conversion so that you don't have to. What you want to make sure is that your brand is everywhere and is equally the same. You want the cohesive brand messaging and visuals across all platforms. Think consistent color schemes, the same font and images. You want your visitors to feel right at home interacting with your company on both social and your website. And your website needs to grow right along your business. So take a look at your social media feed and then look at your website. Do they match? Is there that cohesion between both sides? And if not, then it's probably a sign that it's time to reinvest in your website. Sign number 4 is that your services have changed. When your business grows, your offerings expand or they pivot over time. For example, maybe you started out as a wedding planner and you had a successful business doing that. Then you expanded and you started planning some corporate events too as the demand grew. When you add new services or target a new customer segment that alters what you are selling, your website really needs to reflect that. When you have those outdated service pages or product catalogs that don't reflect what you actually have in stock, that confuses your visitors and it really fails to showcase the full range of offerings that you now have. I talk about this a lot when it comes to doing a website content refresh. I recommend that you try to do this at least 2 times a year. It's really important to look at your website, review the copy, the words on your site, and what you are sharing out with your potential clients. You want to make sure that the content that you're putting out actually reflects the offerings that you have at this point in time. And like I said, if you have added a new service to your business, you've expanded a little bit, or your target customers have changed, then that's most likely time to look into a website refresh. You want to make sure that you have new descriptions for these services, maybe a new landing page entirely, that you have photos that share about this new service, pricing as well, and calls to action that capitalize on these changes, guiding people to take the next step in the journey with you for these new services. Keeping your website continuously aligned to your actual real life services allows you to attract your ideal new clients. You don't want to leave money on that table with an outdated picture of your business. Make sure they know exactly what you offer at this moment in time. And as you grow and change, let your website do the same with regular check-ins, like I said. And full refreshes whenever you have those major offer shifts. So keep in mind, as you look at your business and the services that you offer, anytime your offerings have changed, then that's probably a really good time to do a website refresh, either with a full website redesign if your entire business has shifted, or maybe just redesigning your services page or creating a few new landing pages here and there. But the sign number 4 is that when your services have changed, it's time to refresh your website. Now let's talk about the 5th sign, number 5, that it might be time for a new website. It's that your website is built with a template and you are relying on it. Templates have their perks, especially for those who are just starting a business or launching your online presence. You can get information out about your business quickly online. You can be found, and it does build your credibility for sure. So Templates are good. I have nothing against them. However, as your business grows, making the switch to a custom design website can absolutely be a game changer. And let's talk about why. Templates are very generic. It's like a very simple outfit. It might look good, but it won't perfectly suit your style or your personality. By their very design, it's a one-size-fits-all approach. And sure, they can definitely get the job done initially, but they can't truly capture the essence of your unique brand, products, and audience the way that a custom website can. When you personalize everything from the visuals on your website to the content, the messaging, the layout, and the user flows based on the preferences and characteristics of your ideal client, that's where the magic happens. Your visitors, your potential clients, don't just browse around your website, they feel understood. And that instant connection translates into trust. And trust really is that secret power that encourages potential clients to hit that purchase button or to book that consultation calls. So while templates are great for getting your website up and running and getting you started, custom design sites are so important as your business grows and can be an absolute game changer that will allow you to attract more ideal clients and make more money with your website. So think about your website. If it was built with a template and it was built a few years ago, then it's probably time for a new website design. That is sign number 5. And finally, we've made it to number 6. The number 6 sign that you need a new website is that you haven't updated your website in years. Websites truly need regular updates as part of their care. You need to think about constantly refreshing your content, adding new features, optimizing your flows. This keeps your visitors engaged with something new while improving conversions. You always want to be keeping an eye on your analytics, understanding how many people are coming to your website, who is coming to your website, and what they are doing on your site. And then thinking of ways that you can improve their journey to help guide them to take action on your website. We have so many things on our plates as business owners, and we're doing all the things, and we are trying to serve our clients and create new offers and promote ourselves on social media and attend all networking events. And sometimes our websites get shifted to the back of our priority list. I'm definitely guilty of this too. It's really hard to balance it all. But it's really important to ensure that your website is constantly updated. It's a living, breathing thing. It's not a set and forget it type of tool. I'll tell you, the average lifespan of a website is between 2 to 5 years. I typically find 3 years as the sweet spot, sometimes a little less. And yes, this might be making you cringe, but it's the truth. Our businesses are evolving, they're growing, and our websites need to do the same. And our websites need to also be updated to kind of poke at the Google gods over there and let them know that we're still in business. We are still taking care of our websites. We're sharing new content so that we can be found on search engines and get more people to visit our site. If you haven't updated your website in a while, I want to say, 6 months, a year, then it's probably time for either a website refresh or a website rebuild. That would be sign number 6. All right, so there you go. Let's do a little quick recap for the 6 signs that it might be time for a new website. The first one is that your website isn't driving sales. Number 2, your website isn't mobile or user-friendly. Number 3, your website is inconsistent with your brand and or your social media presence. Number 4, your offers have changed. Number 5, you're still using a templated design and have been for a while. Or number 6, you haven't updated it in a while. So there you go. I gave you 6 indicators to watch out for when it comes to your own website. And as you know, I love and adore helping other business owners build an online presence that truly reflects their brand, their unique personality, and attracts their ideal clients and makes them money. So if you find yourself nodding your head and feeling as though you fit into one of these 6 categories, I'd love to have a chat and learn how I might be able to help you with a website refresh or a website redesign. And if you did resonate that you haven't updated your website in a while, and I did mention a few times that a website content refresh is a really great thing to do every once in a while, I have a private podcast about what you can do right now to update your website and set it up for success in this year. And it goes through the steps of what you can do to update your website content to make it a little bit more strategic. I'm going to link that below because it's a great resource and you'll definitely come away with some ways to optimize the current website that you have until you are ready to make that full investment. And until next time, I will talk to you later. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast all the way to the end. I really appreciate you being here. Please make sure to subscribe to the podcast, rate, review, and share it with someone else you know it can help. If you like this episode, then I want to invite you to visit jennybedesigns.com, where you'll find videos and resources to help make your current website work even harder for you. And if you're feeling like your current website doesn't truly reflect you or your brand today, it's not attracting your ideal clients or making sales, or maybe you just feel embarrassed by it and it's holding your business back, then reach out. I'd love to help you design a website that truly reflects you, works for you 24/7, bringing in those ideal clients and making you money. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time for another new episode. And that wraps up another episode of Website Design Made Simple. I hope you found the insights shared in this episode valuable and takes you one step closer to creating a website that attracts more of your ideal clients and builds your brand. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. Your review will help us reach more small business owners like you who are ready to make more money with their website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.